Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Astros, J.R. Richard. 107 71 win loss record, 3.15 career ERA, 1,606 innings pitched, 1,493 Ks, 22 career WAR, 1979 third in the Cy Young voting, 2.7 ERA, 313 Ks, 19 complete games, and then in 1980 suffered a stroke that ultimately took him out. So the stroke was heartbreaking. This dude threw gas
Yeah.
for that time period. No one could touch this dude. Would he have made the Hall of Fame with a full career?
Unfortunately, I'm going to say no, because the first 5 years of his career, he kind of wasted trying to figure out how to pitch. And then he really started to click when he was 26. And then he had a 5 year stretch where he was dominant, and then he was out of baseball. I think if he had figured it out sooner, it's a different story. But I don't think he would have gotten to where he needed to get to with the time he would have had left.
I think that's fair. I he's he's borderline for me. It's such a heartbreaking story. It
It's sad.
really is. Dude was at the top of his game, getting everybody in the world out, and then just I think it was like he felt some pain in his neck and his arm all of a sudden after a pitch. Then it turned out to be a claw and all this stuff. Like it was an absolute mess. Suffered the stroke. Yeah, I go back and forth on him. Chat says Steve says Richard was on his way, would have had some serious consideration without the health issues. He says yes. Carl says Richard was the best power pitcher, not named Nolan Ryan at the time. Slam dunk Hall of Famer if healthy. So I'll go with the chat then. I'll cop out and go with the chat. I'll say yes.
Yeah,
and he was dominant.
And I would totally agree if he hadn't wasted the first 5 years of his career trying to learn how to pitch, because he was erratic.
Yeah. Yeah, and Carl agrees with you. To Harrison's point, Randy Johnson had no idea where the ball was going until 96 or 97. Right, but Randy also had the longevity to make up for that. That's the difference between these two careers.
Correct.
So
yeah, and who knows how long Richard would have lasted. He was out of baseball at 30. Would you have gotten 5 more years out of him? 7, 10, 12? I don't know how many years of that kind of dominance you would be able to maintain. It's a shame that he hadn't built up more going into it, because the first 5 years he were wasted.
Yeah. John Temple's got his magic 8 ball going, and he said most likely. So Curtis says if it wasn't for the stroke, Hall of Fame for sure. We'll disagree all day on that one.
I mean, Randy Johnson won 16 games, struck out 290 guys at age 40.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's not a lot of guys that can do that.
No, nuts. Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Texas Rangers, Josh Hamilton. 290 career average, 1134 career hits, 200 career homers, 700 career RBIs, MVP in 2010, 5-time All-Star, batting title, 3-time Silver Slugger. And then here we go with the list of everything. 2009 ab strain, missed 73 games. 2010 fractured ribs, missed 29. 2014 thumb and shoulder, missed 73 games. 2015 shoulder again, plus some drug addiction issues, missed 112 games. 2016, he had his 3rd knee surgery, and then we're out. Does Josh Hamilton make the Hall of Fame with a full slate of games and not all of the injury and other issues off the field?
Yeah, so are we adding like the first 5 years of a career that he lost too?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, yes, to me, Josh Hamilton was one of the purest baseball players that I may have watched. Everything came easy to the guy. He could hit, he could throw, he could catch, he had power, he had personality. I think he was everything that you would have wanted in a baseball player in that time. He didn't get his start until 26 because he wasted 5 years with addiction issues, and then he was out of baseball at 34 because of injuries. And then obviously the addiction that came back. if you take the addiction out of both ends of his career, he's to me is a surefire Hall of Famer.
I'm with you. This dude was a beast, and after listening to Skeeter talk about him tonight,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, we just got some inside information about Josh Hamilton and the kind of player he was. The fact that Cecil Fielder wasn't the best, or the ball he's seen furthest hit, it was Josh Hamilton, and he was hopped up on drugs when he was with the race when Skeeter saw him is nuts. It's nuts.
This guy was drafted out of high school in '99, and he was like the LeBron James of baseball. Like he was the can't miss kid, the natural, the kid that will change the game, and he would have been. I mean, for what we saw at his peak, what we saw, if you had gotten that without all the problems, yeah, I think for sure he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm with you for everything you just said.
Such a sad story.
It is. This one's terrible. Oh God, Aaron, that's
Aaron.
bad. That's bad. Hamilton played the wrong game with white lines. Yeah. Ouch.
But that's what happens when you give a young kid a lot of money.
Yeah.
You get drafted first overall and hand the kid a big check, things go bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I played with a guy who's a 5th overall pick. Jeffrey Allison out of Peabody, Mass. Same road as Hamilton. Kid threw 98 at 16 years old. Got drafted first overall, handed a big check, life went straight to hell.
Yeah, man.
It's just what happens.
Yeah. Steve says Hamilton.
A good family.
Yeah. Steve says Hamilton's a tough one for me. I would say he would have some serious consideration if he had more good years in his career. Yeah. Yep. And John Temple, yeah, bad decisions caught up with him for sure.
Yeah,
tough one.
Sure did.
All right. Next two are kind of different, but kind of the same. Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for Ken Griffey Jr. Now, listen, I know he's in the Hall of Fame already, so it's not really Hall of Fame potential, but could Ken Griffey Jr. been the GOAT if he did not miss all of the time towards the end of his career? Are we talking about Ken Griffey Jr. as the best player of all time without the injuries?
I'm going to say no, only because the next guy would be. But I think Ken Griffey Jr. is on the Mount Rushmore of baseball if he gets a fully healthy career. Because the hard part with Griffey is that it wasn't even the injuries, because in the time that he missed, he spent most of that 2007 to 2007 stretch on the field hurt, like playing at 75%. He was never healthy for like a 5 or 6 year stretch, and still played pretty well. But if you had a fully healthy Griffey, I think, yeah, he's one of those guys who's, top 5, top 10 all time, not up for debate.
Yeah, I think baseball's at a weird spot, right? Because I don't think it's going to be really hard to leapfrog Willie Mays in center field. It's going to be really hard for a center fielder to come into the game, win 10 Gold Gloves, and hit over 660 home runs. It's it's going to be tough. Griffey was going to be the guy to do that. And now we're not going to see that for a long time, right? The chances of that happening again are not great. So this was the chance, and he would have been the GOAT in my eyes if he was able to get over the Willie Mays home run threshold. Didn't quite get there, 30 home runs short, but we missed 453 games between 2000 and 2007.
Well, and I put him and Mays side by side because, I mean, I know Mays missed time. I know Griffey missed time. Griffey was also not healthy for a large chunk of that time, and he finished just behind Willie. Like, I look at Willie Mays and Ken Griffey Jr. as 1A and 1B in center field. I think they are very much hand in hand, lockstep.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do too, but you could also argue that Willie Mays missed time for the war, so he might have been even further ahead of Griffey. So you got kind of two what ifs kind of there sitting at the same time. But
that's why I said, Mays missed time, so did Griffey, but Griffey also wasn't healthy for large stretches. So I think in the end, they probably would have ended up at the same place.
Wash out.
I think they're very much the same player.
Yeah. Carl says everyone who grew up in the 90s wanted to be Griffey. I say yes, he was so great when healthy. I think GOAT is definitely in play. Yeah, I'm with you. Not sure about the best of all time, but he would be up there with Mays, Aaron, Mantle. Yeah. And the wrist with the Mariners, 700 easy.
Yeah.
And John says, yeah, it was over once he tore his hammy in Cincy.
He was just never the same guy, and he was never fully healthy for like the 5 or 6 year stretch.
Yeah. If the
He
kid
was
stayed
hobbling around.
yeah, if the kid stayed in Seattle and was injury free, home run record would have been his flat out. I don't disagree. Yeah. This is a good point too. All those years playing on turf caught up to him. Could be a thing. Buhner, Boone lost 3 years in injuries, cost him a shot at 5 home runs, couple more Gold Gloves. But yeah, the best baseball swing of all time.
Yeah.
There's no denying that for sure.
Yeah. And Aaron, you're 100% right. Griffey was all over the East Bay mag. I had the gargoyle glasses. I had his white and those teal, like the Velcro across cleats. I was decked out in Griffey stuff as a kid. He was the guy.
Everybody had the Griffey cleats, like everything. Yeah, for sure. And Silix, Ted Williams is not a bad guy to have as your guy. I'm just throwing that out there. But
he's my all-time guy. Ted Williams to me is the GOAT.
Yep.
He wrote the book on hitting, literally.
Mm-hmm. All right. Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential. Now, this could go both ways because Mike Trout is still playing. Could he get into the Hall of Fame? Most likely. But could he have been the GOAT as well? We have a 294 career average. He's got 404 career homers, 1,000 RBIs, 1,700 hits, 406 OBPs. Crazy. 214 steals, 87.5 WAR, and we're not done playing. Rookie of the Year, 3-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 2 as the MVP, 2 All-Star MVP, 9-time Silver Slugger, and then here come the injuries. 2017 thumb ligament, 47 games, 21 calf strain, 139 games, 2022 a back, missed 35 games, 2023 broken hand, missed 89 games, 2024 torn meniscus, missed 153 games. Would Mike Trout be the GOAT if he was injury free?
Yes. I rest my case. The guy had 9 straight seasons where he was top 5 in the MVP voting. He was absolutely going to be. He was on pace to be the GOAT. And it's there's no other player in history that was on a trajectory like that. By the time he was 27, he was at place no player had been. Came crashing down. But yes, to me, he was on pace to be the GOAT. He was going to be number 1. And there is no doubt in my mind that was the greatest baseball player to ever walk the planet.
Yeah, I mean, John Waite's not Rendon. I'm done giving that guy airtime. That's pretty much why I chose him not to do that.
Yeah, pass.
Curtis, this is a great one. Without the injuries, he would have been modern day Mickey Mantle. I agree with that assessment fully. Yeah, I mean, greatest of all time might be a hard one for me because I don't know where his fall off would have started. Like, where does his peak start to round off and go back down? Because he's not just going to continue on that trajectory, even if he's injury free, right? At some point, he's going to have to come to the top of the mountain and start going down just because Father Time always wins. Carl says Trout's first 7-8 years are some of the greatest we've ever seen. Part of what hurts him in the GOAT conversation are injuries notwithstanding. Is the lack of playoff appearances and playing for the Angels. They aren't marketed well. We have talked about that numerous times. One playoff series isn't a great look. It's just not. I know baseball is a individual team sport, but it's not a good look. but as the GOAT, I am kind of with Steve here. Trout's career ceiling without the injuries isn't as high as Griffey's career ceiling without his injuries. Close, but no cigar. I think him and Griffey would be similar trajectory, but that would be about it. I think Trout could reach to where Griffey is now, if that what makes sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you line up where they were at age 27, Trout wins. I mean, they were at the same. If you mark them at the same place, Trout
Yeah.
wins. And they both came up at 19. They both got thrown into full-time gigs. Trout was way better earlier than Griffey was. It's not close. The first 6 or 7 years of their career, Trout smokes Griffey in every category. Trout was so far ahead of everybody. So by the age of 27, he was basically ahead of everybody in baseball history for where he was trending in every category. Like, he was running away with best player ever until he couldn't get on the field anymore.
Okay.
And I do think that the playoff appearance thing isn't an issue if he doesn't miss most of the next 5 years, when they also had Ohtani. And because the two of them were not on the field together a lot. That's the sad part of the thing, is that you didn't get to see Ohtani, Trout, and Rendon on the field together at the same time for more than like 50 or 60 games. Like, you just never got to see it.
Yeah. Agree.
I just Trout was so far ahead and above, better than anybody had been to that point in a career.
Okay.
And
I can get,
and his credentials even now are just are unbelievable.
I mean, they're pretty silly.
I mean, 3 MVPs, 11 All-Stars, 2 All-Star MVPs, an overall defensive player of the year, a player of the year, 9 Silver Sluggers, a rookie of the year, 9 seasons of top 5 MVP finish.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It's obscene. It's absolutely obscene where he was.
And 88 career WAR with all those injuries is mind-boggling too.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more WAR at age. He's got more WAR at, what is he? He's at age 33 with hobbling around than Griffey had in his whole career.
Yeah.
And he's still gonna keep playing, obviously at a reduced threshold. But I think that he would have been greatest player ever, no doubt.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I'm with it.
It is such a shame to see a guy like that cut down as quickly as he was.
Yeah.
And then also, like, what are you going to get out of him now going forward? Like, as the back issues continue to linger, like, what do you actually get out of him?
Yeah, we don't know. Huge question mark for sure.
Sucks.
All right, greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Athletics, Eric Chavez. 1,477 career hits, 260 career homers, 902 career RBIs, 6-time Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger, 2007 to 2014, played in only 449 of a possible 1,296, missed 847 games, back, shoulder, herniated disc, foot, abdominal injuries, cut career, and playing time short. Would Eric Chavez be in the Hall of Fame with a full career?
I mean, I love Chavez. We've talked about him on the show when he came up a couple weeks ago. Like, I used to watch I used to watch him play defense to like learn from him as a third baseman.
Yep.
He was unbelievable. Footwork, reaction, arm, everything. I think he's a guy that if he's healthy, I think he is absolutely getting Hall of Fame votes. Does he make it? I don't know. I'd like to believe he does, because he's one of the greatest defensive third basemen of all time. And with all that time back, his offensive resume is going to look a whole lot better. You give this guy back like 5 seasons, and you're looking at a guy who's got probably 2,200 hits, 2,300 hits. He's going to have probably 350 home runs. He's going to have 1,200 to 1,300 RBIs, plus the crazy defensive accolades. I think he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, this one's hard for me too. Like, for everything you said, like, we've talked about how we have studied him, like you said. You give him back those 847 games, that's another 6 Gold Gloves he's winning. So now you're looking at a 12-time Gold Glove winner, you're looking at, like you said, a guy that hits 300 career home runs. I look to him, starting to look at him like I mean, no one's Brooks Robinson, let's put it that way,
No.
but you're starting to look at him in that category. Brooks Robinson, Ozzie Smith, they are in the Hall of Fame for their defense, and that's it. They are not in for their offensive numbers at all. Not one bit. Let's be honest there. I think they could start looking at Eric Chavez like that because he was insane defensively. So for me, if he's up around the 11, 12, 13 gold glove mark, like there's a high possibility he's getting in just for defense alone. So I'm going to say yes, just on the defense part. Offensively, no. But as you can see, guys do get in for their defense. So
Yep.
I think yes.
Yeah, I think he was incredible.
So yeah. I mean, we're kind of mixed here in the chat, kind of not. Very underrated player, but I'd say no with Chavez. Holla, very good. As an A, he gets overshadowed by Henderson. I mean, different time period, but maybe a little bit. He was supposed to be the same as Chipper, but never did it to that level. And I think that's fair, Silix. I think when they get compared to other, I think when they compare them to other people in their era, it's tough to compare them, right? I mean, when you have Chipper Jones, he's the clear number one. Can you put Eric Chavez in the Hall of Fame when, Chipper Jones is the clear number one? I don't know if you can. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a good point. But better defender, Chapman or Chavez?
I mean, in his prime, I'd take Chavez. I just think range wise, it was unreal what he got to.
Yeah.
Chapman's also incredible. Arenado at his peak might be better than both of them. I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I think for sure, I mean, you're looking at a guy in Chavez who probably has at least 10 gold gloves, a guy that probably has 350 home runs, 1,200 to 1,300 RBIs, 2,000 plus hits, and still one of the top 3 defensive third basemen of all time. It's hard not to put a guy like that in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're talking like we know how the Hall of Fame's going to vote year to year.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Somebody's not going to like him, and because of that.
Yeah. And Steve, this is fair. Chavez was never a top 10 MVP candidate in any season, even when he was healthy. So, I mean, sure. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think defense plays, and there's guys in the Hall for their defense. Maddox wasn't a great pitcher. He's just in there for his 18 gold gloves. Kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't think he would, because I think someone said it, nailed it back here. Chipper got in. He doesn't live up to that level. They're about the same era. It's tough. So I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, it's fair. I mean, these are highly subjective.
Right.
I can't think of many third basemen in my life I've seen that are better than him. And in that era, there's very few that are better than him. Yeah, MVP. You also think about the era that he played in. I mean, that was peak steroid era, where MVP awards were going to guys with stupid, like, video game numbers.